What if the person trying to provoke you is not actually trying to win an argument? What if they're trying to control your emotions? They want you angry. They want you explaining yourself. They want you defending every decision you make. And the moment you give them that reaction, they know they've found a way to control your attention. This is why sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. In this video, we're going to explore 7 psychological strategies inspired by Machiavellian ideas about power, human behavior, and emotional control. These aren't about becoming cruel or manipulating innocent people. They're about understanding how people can use your emotions against you and learning how to protect your peace. And the 7th one may completely change the way you deal with people who constantly try to get a reaction from you. The first trick is to never reward provocation with an emotional reaction. Some people know exactly what buttons to press. They criticize your appearance, question your intelligence, bring up your past, or make a comment designed to embarrass you. Then they watch closely to see what happens. If you become angry, start defending yourself, or immediately argue back, they learn that their words have power over you. But imagine responding calmly instead. You don't become aggressive. You don't insult them. You simply refuse to give them the emotional reaction they were looking for. Suddenly, the game changes. They expected an emotional response, but instead they received calmness. This doesn't mean you should tolerate disrespect or abuse. It means you choose your response instead of allowing someone else to choose it for you. The second trick is to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Have you ever found yourself writing a long message just to prove that you weren't wrong? You explain what happened. Then you explain why you did it. Then you explain what you really meant. And somehow, after all that, the other person still finds something to criticize. This is where endless explanation becomes a trap. When someone genuinely wants to understand you, a simple explanation is usually enough. But when someone has already decided that you're wrong, giving them more information can simply give them more material to argue with. You don't have to defend every choice you make. You don't have to convince everyone that you're a good person. Sometimes a calm sentence like, "That's your opinion," is enough. Your life doesn't need to become a courtroom where everyone gets to question your decisions. The third trick is controlled silence. Silence can be uncomfortable because we're naturally tempted to fill empty space. Someone makes an accusation, and we immediately want to answer. Someone insults us, and we want the final word. Someone ignores us, and we want to know why. But silence gives you something valuable: time. Instead of reacting immediately, you create space between what happened and what you choose to do about it. That space is where self-control lives. When you don't immediately respond, you can think more clearly. You can ask yourself, does this actually deserve my attention? Sometimes the strongest response isn't a clever comeback. It's simply refusing to participate. But remember, silence should not be used to punish or emotionally manipulate people. Use it to think, calm down, and decide whether a response is actually necessary. The fourth trick is to become less predictable. People who want to control you often study your reactions. They learn what makes you angry, what makes you insecure, what makes you jealous, and what makes you desperate for approval. If they know exactly how you'll react, they can push the same buttons whenever they want it. But when you become emotionally disciplined, your reactions become harder to predict. Someone insults you and you remain calm. Someone tries to make you jealous and you don't compete. Someone tries to make you feel guilty and you calmly say no. Someone expects you to chase them and you continue with your life. This doesn't mean acting mysterious or playing mind games. It means becoming less controlled by your emotions. The more control you have over yourself, the less power other people have over you. The fifth trick is to stop chasing people who withdraw their attention to control you. Sometimes people create distance not because they genuinely need space, but because they want you to chase them. They stop replying. They become cold. They disappear. Then they wait for you to ask what happened. You send another message. Then another. You start wondering what you did wrong. Your attention becomes completely focused on getting their attention back. This is where you need to recognize the pattern. If someone repeatedly withdraws attention simply to make you chase them, don't reward the behavior. Give them space. Continue living your life. If they genuinely need time, respect that. If they want to communicate, let them communicate. Your self-worth should never depend on whether someone chooses to reply to your message. You can care about someone without chasing them. The sixth trick is to let your actions speak louder than your explanations. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they feel misunderstood is talking too much. They announce their plans. They explain their goals. They tell everyone what they're going to accomplish. Then they spend so much time explaining themselves that they have less energy left to actually do the work. There is power in quietly improving your life. If you're building something, build it. If you're learning something, learn it. If you're becoming healthier, keep going. If you're leaving a toxic situation, leave quietly and safely. You don't need to announce every move. Results have a way of speaking for themselves. The person who constantly tells everyone what they're going to do may receive attention, but the person who quietly does the work eventually produces evidence. Let your behavior become the explanation. The seventh trick is to understand that not every battle deserves you. This may be the most important lesson of all. Imagine someone insults you online. You could spend an hour arguing with them. Someone misunderstands you. You could spend the entire day trying to change their opinion. Someone tries to compete with you. You could accept the competition and spend your energy trying to prove you're better. But ask yourself one question. What do I actually gain by responding? If the answer is nothing, walking away may be the smartest move. Machiavellian thinking is often associated with strategy, power, and understanding human motives, but you don't need to become manipulative to learn from those ideas. One useful lesson is that attention is a resource. Where you place your attention affects your emotions, your decisions, and eventually your life. If you give every insult your attention, every disagreement your energy, and every critic a place in your mind, you will have very little left for your own goals. This is why never react, never explain, just ignore should not be understood as a rule to ignore every problem. There are moments when you absolutely should speak. If someone is threatening you, harming you, spreading serious lies about you, or violating an important boundary, ignoring it may not be appropriate. The real skill is knowing the difference between something that requires action and something that only wants your attention. A mature person doesn't avoid every conflict. A mature person chooses which conflicts deserve their energy. And here's the deeper psychological lesson. The less desperate you are to control how other people see you, the more confident you become. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to like you.